Hey, Fab Gals, we are live. I am live and I'm so excited to be with you today. I'm sorry I'm a little bit late, but I'm having some technical issues and just hoping that the sound is working well. So today on my live video, I'm going to be sharing with you my top 2 fashion trends for 2019. And the fun thing and the great thing about these fashion trends is A, they are super easy to follow, and B, they're going to save you money. So I'm sure that you want to hear all about it. So stay with me, and after the information and after the tips, I'm going to be opening it up for Q&A. So I'm hoping to see you then. So ladies, for those of you who don't know me, I'm Tracy Gold, and I'm a personal stylist and a fashion YouTube influencer for women over 40, sharing my fashion tips that really aim to make you look and feel fabulous. So I'm super excited to get into the content today. Please let me know. I can see that I've got a couple of you live. Just wave and let me know. Hit the like button. Okay, I'm seeing like. Can you hear me? Can you see me clearly? Technology is wonderful, but it can sometimes be a little challenging. Okay, so, oh, Joanna, fantastic. This time, I can actually see the chats. I know how it works. Okay, so ladies, feel free to put your questions in, but just know that in the beginning of this video, just for those who are doing the replay, because it's so much more interesting for them to watch, I'm just going to be sharing the tips with you. And then afterwards, we can have a discussion. I think there are going to be some questions about these. So I follow the fashion trends. I love fashion. I love the fashion trends. However, I've noticed that fashion trends are changing. Okay, so there's a leaning more towards a different way of dressing, a different way of thinking of your clothing. And actually, it's really great news because it's going to save us time and it's going to save us money and it's going to be so much easier to get dressed in the morning. So I first want to say that I have been following the spring trends for 2019 with great excitement, you know, hoping to see trends. Hey, Heidi, so good to see you. Okay, so really following them and being excited to see what's new. And I have to say, ladies, I'm not seeing much new. In fact, I'm seeing a repeat of the same trends over and over, season upon season. We've had a couple of those. For instance, we've had the, you know, wearing the day and nighttime thing. So things that would ordinarily be for special occasions, like sequins, like shiny fabrics, wearing that for casual. For instance, color trends. Yellow is still quite big, and it's going to be big going forward. Bum bags, who would have ever thought we were going to have those again, but they've come back. And so it seems to me that trends are often just repeating themselves and repeating themselves and repeating themselves. So I'm really excited because I find that there are 2 big emerging trends that are kind of going to blow the rest of them out of the water, which I think is exciting, even coming from a fashion person. So the first one, and the one that I am the most excited about, is the trend of creating your own personal style. Now, having come to New York City a while ago, I was expecting to see people really follow the trend quite a bit more, be much more fashion conscious, really following that kind of thing. Actually, I find New Yorkers are notoriously known for creating their own look, to create their own personal style. And here, anything goes. So you really can create your own personal style. And that has really encouraged me to push beyond my boundaries of personal style. What I thought I would normally wear or put together, I'm going beyond those boundaries, and I'm discovering things that I'm enjoying wearing that I didn't think I would before. Sometimes my same clothes, but the way that I put them together, the combinations that I put together are a little bit bolder, a little bit more fun. I'm prepared to take far more fashion risks than I was before. So I'm seeing a growing trend of women and men really embracing their own personal style. Now, does fashion impact on this? Sure. I mean, you know, we were wearing hipsters for quite some time, right? Those horrible hipsters. Now, the high-waisted trend is far more in fashion and everybody's going for high-waisted trend. But you know, one of the best places to find those high-waisted is in the thrift and vintage stores. So I'm seeing a lot of people creating combinations with vintage clothing. So put vintage or thrift clothing together with modern contemporary pieces and mixing it all up and having fun creating your own personal style. A great example of this. Now, I know not all of you are going to relate, but the advanced style movement is a huge movement here in New York City, and it was created by Ariseth Cohen, really as a celebration of mature women and mature people expressing themselves through their personal style. So people like Deborah Rappaport, I mention her often, she's a friend of mine, and she dresses with great creativity. She's not that interested in the trends. She doesn't even go to Fashion Week. She's really not interested. Why? Because she thinks following the trends is boring. She says, who wants to look like everybody else? Rather just create your own style. So do we like certain things that are in fashion? Sure. I mean, I've loved my biker jacket, you know, my red one, this one here. You girls will have known it. I've been wearing it for a long time. Will I wear it when it's out of trend? Probably, yes, I will, because I really love it. And it's a trend, the biker jacket trend has stayed with us for quite a long time. And I think it's almost become like a classic. So I'd love to hear from you what you think about your personal style and whether this is actually encouraging for you in creating your own personal style. Girls, I really think it's time to just be who you are and to use fashion purely as an expression of who you are. What this also means, remember in the beginning of the video, I said these trends are going to help you save money and they're super easy to follow. Well, once you figure out what your personal style is and you're prepared to play a little bit around with that, then I think you're going to find it really cost effective and much easier to get dressed in the morning, because you're also not after the latest trend needing to buy something that is, you know, the latest must-have item for the season. I mean, and the thing is that they're not changing that fast. It's interesting in a world that we live in where there's so much fast fashion. People are going, you know what, maybe we don't need so many clothes. Maybe we don't have to have the latest trends. Maybe we can just buy from some thrift stores or vintage places or clothing swaps or sample sales and mix it up and have some fun with it and create your own individual style. Ladies, this is the trend going forward. Personally, my personal prediction, I think we're going to see less of trend forecasting. I think we're going to see the emergence of individualism in the fashion sphere. I mean, look at how many influencers there are out there. So sure, they do cover fashion trends like I do, but we bring it through in our own personal style. My focus when I do fashion trend videos is, okay, so these are the trends now. Create it for yourself. So I will put a link below in the description below after this video on my trends for 2018 spring trends, because they're pretty much the same. And I think as women over 40, we're less concerned with the latest trend and we just want to be current, right? Sure, I don't want to look like I just stepped out of the 80s and the 90s. Even when I'm wearing things from the 80s and 90s, I want to mix it up with some contemporary pieces and make it modern, make it relevant, make me feel like I'm relevant in this modern world. Sure, but that still is creating your own personal style. Okay, so next is about, okay, so this can be a little contentious. I'm just warning you. But I am seeing it as being a big trend. And you must understand something, that one of the things I've experienced in New York City is that this is kind of the epicenter. So things happen here and then they spread throughout the world. I suppose like some of the fashion centers around the world, places that are really, really fashion focused or arts focused or whatever the case is. So the trend that I'm seeing that I'm really excited about is sustainable fashion. Okay, so before you feel overwhelmed and you're thinking, oh no, she's going to get on a soapbox. I'm not getting on my soapbox. I'm purely seeing that fashion designers and consumers, which I really want to talk about, being a consumer of sustainable fashion, are starting to give some thought to where things are made, what they are made of, and how we are disposing of it. Ladies, I don't know if you're aware, but the fashion industry is one of the top polluters of the planet. And so we're seeing fashion designers who are really trailblazing in these areas of bringing us sustainable fashion that is not made from sweatshops, that are sometimes made of sustainable fabrics that can easily be disposed of. Also, if you are looking at sustainable fashion, sometimes what it will mean is that you pay a little bit more per garment, but you have less. So we're kind of going back to that less is more. I went to a fashion show at New York Fashion Week a few weeks ago, and it was Fashion for Peace, and was really talking about how as a planet, we're going to get our stuff in order because we are destroying this planet. So much of the fast fashion that doesn't get sold ends up in landfill. And how does that get disposed of? Where does that go? That creates gases. It creates harm for the planet. And often these are garments that have been made by people that are underpaid and underappreciated. Now, listen, I understand it's an overwhelming thing. So I'm going to give you really simple ways that you can start to adopt this trend. And listen, no judgment about this, because I have to be honest. My own collection is ethically made, but it isn't made of sustainable fabrics. It just isn't. And in South Africa, the amount of sustainable fabrics available, you'd have to buy large quantities of, which I wasn't in the position to. And there's such little available for me, well, then when I was designing clothing, to utilize that wasn't a possibility. However, I am starting as a consumer to be a lot more aware. So when I buy something, if it's made of a fabric that isn't sustainable, I want to buy something that's good quality, that's going to last me for a long time. So you'll notice the dress, for instance. Now, I made this a couple of seasons ago, and I will wear it for many years to come. And if I get bored of it, I'll simply thrift it. I'll give it to somebody. I'll give it away. That way it extends its life. I have got things in my closet that I've had for years and years and years because they're good quality items and I still really enjoy wearing them. But when that changes, because my personal style changes, which it does sometimes, then I'll give it away. I'll give it to somebody else. And that way it extends the lifespan of an item. Also, I think as women over 40, what I've noticed with my clients when I'm consulting with women is that they're really striving towards having a smaller, more curated closet that is it makes it easier for you to get dressed in the morning. Now, I've shared my story of moving to New York, and I moved in one suitcase because one suitcase was my collection. Okay, so I did a couple of trips and I was able to bring a little bit back, but pretty much I have very little clothing, and yet I always have something to wear. One of the things about New York City is you don't have huge amount of closet space. Your apartments are small and still really expensive, but it really makes you clear on what it is that you want to keep, because you just don't have space to keep a lot of stuff. And it's been really amazing. It's been really empowering. So when I'm looking at things, even at a vintage store or even at a thrift store, my question is, am I really going to wear it? Am I going to get a lot of use out of it? Have I already got something in my closet that's similar? And because I know what's in my closet, because I have such a small closet now, I don't repeat buy stuff. And it saves me a fortune. Also, having a more concise wardrobe really makes it easier for you to get dressed in the morning. Sometimes when you have too many options, it can be super overwhelming. How many of you found, let me know in the comments below, that you have a closet full of clothing, but maybe 20% of that is actually what you wear? Well, what if you decide that you're going to just stick to that 20%, get rid of the stuff that doesn't work for you, and maybe add a few things that represent your personal style that will give you more wearability with that 20% that you're wearing? And listen, in that already you are becoming more sustainable. Bottom line, you buy less, you wear more. You're more concerned with the quality of a garment, that it's going to last you over a period of time, rather than a quick fashion, item that's not going to stand the test of time, or something that isn't great quality that in a year from now, or even a few months from now, it's going to go in the garbage can. So I would love to hear from you what you think. I think that there's definitely a move towards more sustainable fabrics. I'm seeing them and some very beautiful designs. I mean, like lust-worthy designs. And that excites me because I would rather spend more on an item that I know is sustainable, that isn't going to be harmful to my body, that isn't going to be harmful to the planet, and that I'll wear for a long time. It's a real benefit. So I'm saving up for those things, and I'm rather going to buy less and wear more and be less concerned with fashion trends. I'll still look at trends, but trends are really there to show you how to wear what you already have. I mean, it doesn't matter how much high heels are in fashion. I live in New York City. I do not wear high heel shoes. They just kill my feet. I may wear platform. A boot works really well, but those spiky heels, forget it, girl. It doesn't matter how fashionable they are. So I would love to hear. So now I'm going to open it up for questions because I'd love to hear your thoughts. And please, ladies, let this be an open conversation. This isn't about judgment. This isn't about, oh, you know, you're a bad person because you have so much in your closet. Because listen, I had plenty in my closet before I left South Africa. I was actually shocked at how much I really had. But I did give it away to organizations and to friends, and it gave great joy to those people, which makes me feel a lot better because it's not just going in a trash can. So let me know in the comments. I see I have a couple of questions or a couple of comments that I'm just going to read out. So Joanna says, totally, I'm about expressing myself. Yay. Joanna, so true. And listen, I just want to really share a little bit about Joanna. She started following both Dawn Gallagher and I a few months ago, I think actually as I got to New York. And I have seen this woman blossom like you cannot believe. She's gone from feeling like she just was boring. I remember one of your questions, Joanna, is like, what if I feel boring in the morning? You were feeling boring and like you weren't really, you know, expressing yourself, to really expressing yourself and coming out of your shell and looking fabulous. So it's so wonderful. I'm just so excited to see that growth and see how it's helped you to change. And then Celeste, oh, hey, so good to see you. And trend is not style. I have to agree with you. Trend is not necessarily style. Can you wear trends with style? Absolutely. Listen, girls, there are trends that I love. I love faux fur. Faux fur trend. I love this. Okay, it has to be faux for me because I'm not going to wear the real thing. Even vintage stuff, I just can't get my head around it. For me, it feels like I'm wearing my cat, and that freaks me out. So although I love to cuddle him, in fact, they're being really quiet today, which is fantastic. Okay, but you know, this jacket here, I bought this from Milan for €100 a good couple of years ago, and it's had a lot of wear, and I will wear it for many years to come. I'll take good care of it. I'll give it a really good treatment every once in a while. So now I don't buy new leather. I tend to rather just buy thrifted leather because I don't want to support the leather industry. But that is my personal opinion. I'm not saying you have to do the same. So Heidi from Denmark, so good to see you. And Celestial says, I have a small capsule wardrobe and I keep it as simple as possible. Absolutely. And tell us, Celestial, having a small, concise wardrobe, do you find that you've got plenty to wear? I'd love to hear from you because I think often a more capsule wardrobe, we really do have more to wear. So let me know, ladies, and let me know what your questions are. I have my cup of tea. Somebody said to me the other day, oh my goodness, that's a big cup. It is a big cup. I drink lots of ginger tea. So let me know, ladies, what are your questions? So let's open it up for questions and let's hear what you have to say because I'm super excited about this. I'm excited about this because I feel like it's going to set us free from living in boundaries of what we must wear and, you know, fashion dictating to us what we should wear. That's over, girls. We decide what we want to wear. And do we want to use the fashion trends as inspiration? Absolutely. I mean, recently Karl Lagerfeld died. And, you know, I remember following Karl Lagerfeld when I was in design school. That was a long time ago. And he's been a huge inspiration to me. Nowadays, I'm so inspired by people like Stella McCartney, who is bringing out really sustainable, amazing fashion, and really just trudging ahead and trying to create a brand that represents that. So, and her things are expensive, let's be honest. But I would rather, now I'm getting to a point where I would rather save up and then be able to purchase. And then also, often you can get designer brands, girls. You can get it from places like Real, where there are really good quality designer brands that are secondhand. Sometimes they still have the tags on them, ladies, and you get them for a fraction of the price. And if they're still wonderful, fabulous. Thrifting as well. I mean, I found things that look like they've barely been worn, if at all. I found Diane van Furstenberg things. I found Ralph Lauren stuff. I've really got a closet of a couple of things that I really, really love. And I paid maybe $20, $30 for. I know, it's crazy. Okay, so here's some questions coming in. So orange and red look fabulous with your skin tone and hair color. Oh, thank you so much. Yes, this is one of my favorite dresses. I absolutely love it. I made it just before I came to New York the first time in April, and I'm still absolutely loving it. And it was in my collection, out of demand. Sometimes I just make things for me, but then everybody wants them, and then I had to add them to collection, and it's sold out. It was crazy. So Joanna says, I love your peplum top from your collection. I'm sure I'm going to wear it a long time. Yeah, thanks for that, Joanna. I think, that is what that is really my intention, is to create a collection of clothing that women feel fabulous in, that they can wear for a long time, that they don't have to just wear for one season. Listen, ladies, I have some dresses in my closet that I've had for over 10 years and I still wear them. And they're still classic. They're classic wrap dresses. They're beautiful patterns and prints and colors that suit my complexion and really work for me. So yeah, I love it. Celestial says, I do because of the colors. Okay, so the question I asked Celestial is, does she have a lot of things to wear, even with a concise curated closet? And she says she does, because the colors I choose, mixing items for more than one outfit choices make it easy. Okay, so that's interesting. So do you then choose your colors effectively so that they all mix and match? Because that is ideal. Ladies, one of the things that you can do is to start with one basic color, like one base color. And it doesn't necessarily have to be black, let me just say. But it can be black, it can be brown, it can be navy, could even be an olive green, can be a chocolate brown, a camel, cream, white, any of those neutral colors. And gray is a great color as a neutral if you don't have my skin tone. Gray is a great neutral. And then you add your colors there, you add your color on top of that, your print on top of it, and everything mixes and matches. I'm all for mix and match. Ladies, that's how I've managed to live in New York with one suitcase worth of clothing, because I believe in mixing and matching and dressing up and dressing down. And I still come up with different combinations that I hadn't thought of before. So Joanna also says, I love thrifting, and sometimes I find colors I would never have bought. I agree with that. It's interesting when I consult with women often. Well, I mean, this is my job. I get them to try on things, items, styles, and colors that they normally never would try on. And then they often do love them. So ladies, I'd like to encourage you to, step outside of the boundaries of what you think you need to do. Yes, dress for your personal style, but stretch those boundaries a little bit. Like I say, with being in New York, it's definitely stretched my boundaries, and I'm quite a bold dresser. Like, I'm not shy to wear something, but I've just really kind of come up with different combinations and different ways of wearing things, and I love it. I really feel like I have the freedom to express my personal style, and I'm really enjoying it, and I'd love to hear more about how you're doing that. And okay, you may not live in New York City, but you can do it wherever you are. Stretch the boundaries and give yourself permission. And what I find is that if you feel comfortable in it, even if you feel like you're slightly overdressed, it doesn't matter. I mean, in South Africa, I was living in a small town. I was always overdressed, but I didn't care. I didn't care because it's my personal style. And people got used to me being overdressed and so, oh, well, that's just Tracy. That's fine. I'm in fashion. I can do it. Okay, so fuchsia tends to emphasize my blue veins. Okay, that's interesting. That's a very interesting question. So when you are looking at colors, ladies, to try that, you know, when you're trying colors that you're not sure about, then one of the ways of doing it is to look at what happens to your under eye here and to your cheek. Okay, so if you put on a color that really works for you, you will find your under eye will be lightened and your cheek will look like you've actually got blush on. However, when you wear a color that is not so great on you, you will find it will make your complexion dull, and often the circles under your eyes are going to look darker. And sometimes those are even the colors that you wear that maybe people will say, are you feeling okay? Are you really tired? I mean, I didn't get much sleep last night. I'll be honest. I had a really, really bad night's sleep last night. But, you know, that's when I put on a color that suits my complexion, put on a pop of red lipstick, and it makes a huge, big difference. Okay, lights also make a difference. Huge difference. But it's really important to know which are those colors that work for you. Often some of the neutral shades can also make you look very washed out and very pale. And as women over 40, we tend to lose color in our hair, color in our skin, especially during the winter time. Okay, I'm always pale because I can't suntan. It's just how it is. But, you know, you'll be more pale than normal. And so you want to bring a pop of color close to your face, but a color that really suits you, that a color that really works. And I've got some videos on my channel on how to choose color. So feel free you can actually go on to Tracy Gold Fashion Tips, and there's a search bar on my channel, and you can search something like how to wear color for women over 40, or even just search it in YouTube and you'll find it. There's a whole bunch of information there. So I can't wear, Celestial says I can't wear white, so I go with cream instead. Celestial, I'm with you. You know, this whole thing of like every woman must have a capsule wardrobe of a little black dress and a white button down, and I don't have, and black pants. I don't have those. My black dress is a leather dress. It was classic. So I know it sounds like really quite radical, but it's actually a very classic dress. It's a beautiful peplum dress. And I don't own a white button down at all. Not at all, because I just find that it makes me look pale. But I can wear an ivory or a cream, and that works much better. So find what works for you, ladies, and only wear what works for you. I don't believe in a capsule wardrobe that's going to suit everybody. I think it's more about what is your lifestyle, what is your personal style, and then what are the key items that you need in your closet to represent that personal style. I can tell you for sure, Deborah Rappaport does not have an LBD and a white button on. She wears color combinations that are amazing. And she's got a whole bunch of stuff and she wears them all together. And she does it with such style. So you may not be her. And I wouldn't dress like her because it's not my personal style. But I find her inspirational because she doesn't stick with any set of rules. She doesn't believe in that. She just creates a look that suits her and works for her. And I think we all can do that. So, okay, so I prefer neutral bottoms and colorful tops. Yeah, that's a great strategy because often we need color close to our face. And so the color pop will work really well. In the winter time, when people tend to wear quite a lot of black, go for a color scarf. Go for a colorful hat even. So I have a faux fur hat that's a golden color. It's like this kind of color. And I love it because it actually looks similar to my color, the color of my hair, and it really works for me and it gives me that little bit of brightness, even if I'm wearing a black coat, or I often wear my red one. So I'm often not clothed in black. I don't believe in much black anyway. I mean, black is just a basic. So it's not there for everybody. Okay, so ladies, I'm really, really excited to have had this open-ended conversation with you, this two-way conversation. It's really been fantastic. I do need to go. We're almost on 30 minutes. So I'm going to close off now. Feel free, though, to go back into the video. Put your comments on there. If you've got any questions that I haven't answered, feel free to put in the comments because I do reply to every comment unless it's really rude. Okay, so if it's really rude, I just don't answer it at all, or I even in very unusual cases delete them. But generally, I answer every single question and every single comment. So feel free to put your comments below. For those of you on the replay, I'd love to hear what you think of this conversation. I'd love to hear what you think about the 2 top trends that I think you can follow that are super easy, and how will you be following them? So also just quickly to tell you that I have a free download for you ladies that is on my website, tracygoldfashiontips.com. The link is in the description below. So all you have to do is just go to my website and there will be a pop-up. It'll just quickly pop up within a few seconds of you being on there. It'll give you the option to subscribe to my newsletter, which is a weekly newsletter, and you will just be updated on my videos for the week. Feel free to unsubscribe if it doesn't work for you, absolutely fine, but you will straight away get an email after that with the free download of my top makeover tips. Also, if you do want to take this conversation further, if you are struggling with creating your own personal style, if you're struggling with curating your closet, feel free to reach out to me on email. My email address is in the description below, because I do one-on-one consultations, both if you're in New York City or online. Believe it or not, it works really well because you can see me and I can see you. I give you some homework so you're prepared, and we utilize the time really well. So I'll put the details in the description below. I look forward to chatting to you further. Thank you so much, ladies, for engaging with me. And thank you for engaging with each other, because, you know, this is about building a community of women over 40 who support and inspire each other to live the lives that we really want to live and express ourselves in clothing while doing it. So have a great day, ladies. Take care. Bye.